It's going live on YouTube. Hi, everybody. I've got a tray of gemstones we're going to look at with Diamond Tester. That's what we're doing today. It's going live. Here we go. So, hi, Julia.
Hello.
How are
Hi,
you?
me, Julia from Little Metal Foxes. And I've got,
Jennifer, also from Little Metal Foxes. So, I've got a little bunch of stones here that this is one of the things that I would recommend for you to have in your studio. And if you go to gym shows and things like that, even local
a
ones,
tray of stones. You'd recommend having a tray of stones in your
I
studio?
always recommend having a tray of stones, of course.
Right. Who
But
doesn't want a tray of stones?
have a little diamond tester. This one cost me about $14 on Amazon. They're not very expensive. And this one is not as specific as some of the diamond testers you can get. Some of them have a little range, a little needle range that will tell you if it's glass or CZ, if it's quartz, if it's topaz, if it's corundum, if it's diamond, if it's moissanite. So it'll tell you those are a lot more expensive. They're usually in the $100 to $150 range for some of the affordable ones. But
Hmm.
just if you need a yes or no answer, like, yep, it's a CZ, or it's a natural stone, it's probably a diamond or a sapphire, right? So this will give you a better kind of hint at what you're actually looking at. So if
Ballpark.
yeah,
It'll
it'll give
give you a good ballpark.
yeah. So for $14, this is a nice little bit of like, yes, insurance for what you are looking at. So if you go to a show, if you go to, actually, if you have somebody like I was talking about a little bit earlier, if you have a customer that comes into the studio, I had somebody that wanted to remake a pair of earrings, and she thought that they were diamonds and sapphires in gold. And I had to look, and fortunately, I could look up the place that she got them from and could see the copy on what it was. And I had already tested them, so I knew that they were sapphires and CZs in sterling. They were not in gold. And there was a little
Like
tag
gold.
that was her signature punch was on a little gold 18 karat gold tab that was very like foil that was on the back. So it was listed as sterling and 18 karat gold in the description. So the gold that was on it was
Hmm.
so minimal. But
And it was just enough to qualify for the hallmarking, at least here in the States. I think probably wouldn't have gotten away with that in
yeah,
the
it's like, oh,
UK.
that little thing is 18 karat gold right there on the back.
They're
Um,
very specific about hallmarking in other parts of the
yeah,
world.
yeah. So she, I had her come back and I said, because she was going to pay me, in the gold that was left over from this piece. And I was like, where's Nanny? Because it's sterling. Um, and I had a heads up because I had done just a test tone, scratch test on the jewelry, and I had done a little diamond tester on the stones. So I already had a heads up that they were not what she thought they were.
Right.
So if you're working on something and somebody's bringing you, especially vintage stuff or stuff that somebody gave them or their boyfriend gave them,
Inherited it from their grandmother, and
yeah,
they were always told it was X, but
yeah, the boyfriend gave you some diamond earrings, and you're like, are they though?
uh, the ex-boyfriend gave you some cubic zirconia. Yeah,
Yeah, those are CZs and it's gold fill. So yeah,
or gold plate. Yeah.
yeah. So having, some very inexpensive testing units in your studio, you can get an idea of what you've actually got. It gives you a little sense of security when you're working in the studio. So I wanted to show you guys how this works. Let me switch my camera
Okay.
over here. And I think if we go to, I think you can highlight me here. Let me do this real quick.
Well, I'll need to come in with, I need to do this so that
Oh,
I
you're going to
can,
come in with yours? Okay.
I'll come in with my phone so that it'll
There you go.
another person.
There you go. Okay. Great.
Uh,
And I'll make you co-host. There we go. Make co-host. There you go. All right. So I'm going to change my camera over here so you can see me testing this. There you go. All right. So hello there. So to do the test with the gemstones, let's do this. Right.
Here, wait a minute. I was trying to spotlight you and it won't let me spotlight you.
Let's see. Let me make sure you're.
You need to make me the a co-host, or I can reclaim the host.
Here you go.
There we go. Okay.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
There. So I
So
want to make it big. There we go. Because I wanted to spotlight it for everyone so you can see it big. There we go. We want it to be big. Carry on.
yeah. So the little diamond tester that I've got here, this one is about $14 on Amazon. And it has a little safety thing on there. You want to be careful not to bend or break the pin on the front. And you want to turn this on and you'll see the little bars come up. I usually want to take it to like 3 or 4, and I usually take it up to just where it's like just varying back and forth on 3 or 4. It
Okay.
has to warm up for a minute. So the second light will come on and tell you if when it's ready to test. The there we go. So
There.
lights on. So
The
if you
two.
see it, if you're testing something that's a CZ, this isn't going to change. If it's quartz, it'll probably go up a little bit. If it is a diamond, it'll go all the way up to like 10 on the Richter scale and beep 3 times. If
Richter
it's
scale, though, people.
yes, my little electronic scale here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little CZ out here so you guys can see what that's like.
A CZ.
Yeah. So I've got my magnifiers this time and a solid surface, so this should work better. All right. So I'm just going to take one of these little gemstones here and I'm going to put it into the little tray here with the table facing up. Yep, table facing up. There we go. Because you really want to get it on the table really squared away, like at a 90-degree angle. So with this, you also, because it works on your body's conductive powers, you have to have a finger touching the back there. That's its little speaker. So this will tell you, kind of what range it's in. But finger on the back. There we go. Back just a little bit so you can see the whole thing happening. There we go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hold on to the tray. And this is not going up too terribly far. So I know that that is, take that down to 3. There we go. So I'm going to hold on to that. And it's only going up like 1 bar. So there's
Okay.
no change, right? All right. So if this is a quartz, it will have a little bit different reaction. I've got quartz here. So let's do that. And if I hit metal, you can do this with it in a ring. Just holding on. So I can see that this one, hello there. Beeped for a second, but that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, so this one's going up a little bit, so I know that this is actually a quartz, which I already knew. So if it is a sapphire, though, let me get a sapphire out. Where'd my sapphire go? Let's try sapphire. So I've got this sapphire. Just gonna touch it to my tray. There we go. So this one goes up to about 8 and beeps. Yeah. So I know that that's a sapphire. So this
Okay.
it has 3 red lights that I'll show you here. When it's a diamond, all 3 will come on and it will beep 3 times. So that's how I know what the diamonds are. So if I put a diamond in the tray, which I've got here, and it's great for like little teeny tiny diamonds as well. Because it's got little holders. So if you have some like like some accent stones and you want to know if they're CZs or diamonds, this is a great tool for that. Yeah, so I've got 4 red bars on here.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Yeah, that's a diamond. Okay.
Did it beep?
Yeah, it beeped 3 times.
Okay, we didn't hear it beep.
Oh,
So that it might be, let's see,
yes.
we
So
might need to do
yeah.
uh original sound for musicians. Let's try that.
Oh, okay.
The high music mode.
Let me
Try
get
that. Try it again. I'm just trying to find the Zoom setting that will let you let you hear anything that's like background, right?
right, right. Okay, let's do this. Let's see if this works.
Try it again.
Okay, so if you watch too the little bar here, you'll be able to see it go all the way up. Can you hear it?
It's all the way up, but I'm not hearing it.
Yeah. So it is going beep, 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 but it is going all the way up to like all the red lights are lit up and it's blinking. So, and the little green light here has come on too.
Let's try this one.
Yeah.
You think
So,
again? You keep changing the audio profile, and it's like
echo cancellation, high fidelity, stereo audio. Let's do live performance sound. There we go. All right, let me do that and see if that helps. Can you hear it now? There we go. So anyway, but that's testing it with the little tester. Lets you know that it is let's see, original performance, fidelity, zoom background noise. Let me take that out. There we go. And live performance. There we go. Could you hear it that last time, Julia? I can't hear you. Like you're real garbly, but there we go. There we go.
one little sure. I heard one little beep. Can you hear me?
Just barely. Let's see. Okay, cancel that. All right, but here we go. So yes, with a simple little tester like that, you guys can, for $14, check out and see if it's, diamond, quartz, or CZ. Yeah. So anyway, but like I said, these are available on Amazon, or you'll pay more for them if you get them from like a jeweler or jewelry supply place. If you're ordering from Amazon, you can usually find several on there that are, in the $14 to under $20 range. If you want one, like I said, that is going to give you more dependable accuracy, those and tell you what the variation is. It's kind of nice because if it's like a yellow stone and you're like, I don't know, it's going to give you like CZ, quartz, topaz, or sapphire or diamond. You're going to know what that is because there are a lot of yellow stones in the world, and some of them could be one of those things. So you just don't know. But this will give you some peace of mind for that. The other thing that I would recommend is having a simple metal detection, metal tester kit in your studio too, like that. This one I can test for platinum, sterling, 10 karat or 14 karat, 18 karat, and 24 karat. So this gives me, or 22 karat, this gives me a wide range of testing possibilities, right? Getting a lot of echo, Julia. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Hello.
Is that better?
You're still real garbly.
All right.
It's hard to hear you. But if you are testing your metal for example, I'm going to go over here, change this guy. If you want to spotlight me again.
Okay. Can you hear me okay? Is my microphone better?
Way
All
better.
right. It's my computer mic.
So this is just a little test stone or touchstone. And you can use this just really simply. It's kind of idiot proof to test your test and see what kind of metal you've got. So if it's, gold filled.
Can you sharpen the focus a little bit? There we go. That's better.
Okay. So I've got, if somebody's like, I've got white gold or, and you're like, is it though? Let's find out. So what you're going to do is take the metal on your stone or metal on your piece and just kind of rub it on the touchstone and get a good solid line. I'm going to do this one over here. Just try that. So I've got, and it really doesn't, damage the piece. If it is, if you think it might be gold fill, you might want to do a little like file the surface just gently and then do this on the surface just to make sure. So for the sterling silver one, this is the silver. So if it is fine silver, nothing will happen. It will, if it's sterling, it's going to kind of vanish and go away. So there is a little spot there, and you can take a tissue or a Q-tip and just kind of wipe it, and it's like, oh, gone. Okay, so I know this is sterling and not fine silver, right?
Because it etched it away, it ate it away.
Exactly right. So if I take my 10 karat.
Wait, so it's sterling and not fine silver?
Right, yes.
Because if it were fine silver, it would leave a mark?
Right, it wouldn't etch it away.
Really?
Yeah. The other you can test for to see if it's sterling or white gold is using something like liver of sulfur. And liver of sulfur, of course, will turn your sterling and fine silver dark and will not affect your gold. But okay, so this is the 10 karat right there. So I can put a little drop of this at the bottom. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna let that test, see what it does. And I can still see through the dot. You can see that it's not doing anything, right? So when I pick that up, I've still got gold there. So if I take my 14 karat and put a little drop.
Okay. So wait, it was 10 karat first.
Yep. And I can see through the dot that my gold is still kind of there, right? So that's okay. And my 18 karat, and I can see it's lifting the gold or lifting everything out. So there it's gone. Right.
So that meant the gold that you tested was 14 karat.
It's between 18 and 14 karat. It's not 22 karat. Right.
Okay.
So it's all gone. So I still have like that little mark at the 14 karat spot. And if you want to, you can just kind of give this guy a little wash with a little soap and water to clean it, and it's good to go for another round of testing.
Okay.
But that's all it really takes. So you can, tell if it's, steel or if it's, pewter or something like that, because it'll lift that right off. Just sort of bubble it right away. If it's brass, it'll just immediately, lift it off.
Okay.
So it's, when you're testing it, it just sort of like goes and it's gone.
It just fizzes and disappears.
Fizzes and disappears. Yeah.
All right.
So this gives you a way to sort of test the different carats. And
that tissue you're wiping your eye with is not the same one you were using on the other. Okay, good to know. Yeah, just checking on you, girlfriend. Safety first.
Yes. So, but just having some great little testers in your studio handy that are inexpensive ways to cover your own butt, in case of a commissioner doing work for somebody. They're like, I brought you a diamond and 18 karat gold, and it's like,
and you're like,
It was sterling and a
Oh.
CV. And sorry, your boyfriend lied to you. or
your grandmother or
your
somebody.
grandmother's boyfriend lied to her. So it's but it's good to know. I mean, anytime
There was some miscommunication somewhere along the line.
Somewhere someone was mistaken. Your grandmother was trying to impress you, or someone was trying to impress your grandmother, one or the other. But if you've got something that's a deal that looks like it's too good to be true, and you're like, are they rubies? And you test them and you're like, oh yeah, they're rubies. The thing that you want to be aware of with the simple tester like this is that if they are lab grown stones, they're going to show up as stones. If
it's the real thing, like a lab grown ruby is going to show up as a ruby the same way a natural ruby would, because it's the same chemical makeup.
Right. So you do want to make sure that if you've got a lot of those stones, I would get one that's a little more sensitive and can tell you what range your stone falls in.
Can they tell if it's lab grown?
Yeah, you can tell if it's like simulated or genuine a little bit better with some of the higher level ones. You can tell some of it's the refractivity, and there are some experts. It's really hard to tell with some lab grown diamonds and lab grown rubies and sapphires. It's getting harder and harder to tell, and you really almost have to be an expert to be able to differentiate between them. But in essence, they are the same chemical makeup. Sometimes with some of the rubies, they are and diamonds, they can be what's called drilled and filled. And so they like use a laser and go in and punch out any of the little carbon schmutz that's in the stone, and then
inclusions, any of the little inclusions,
and they'll fill it with like opticon glue or a similar type of glue that's optically clear and hard, and so you can't see the holes. And I've had somebody actually with a diamond they brought in and they were going to cast it in place, and I'm like, it's not a good idea. And it was a pink diamond, and I'm like, bad idea. I wouldn't do it if I were you. And she was like, yeah, I'm just going to give it a try. So she cast it in place, and it came out of the oven just like really nasty, like brown yellow, and it was full of holes. And it was like, so it was heat treated and drilled and filled. So when she was giving it back to her friend that gave it to her, she was like, yeah, that's the same diamond. And it's like, how do you, it's like, yeah, this yellow nasty thing full of holes, this Swiss cheese that I'm giving you is the diamond that you gave me. So that was pink and beautiful. So it's a good idea. Yeah,
I would never have taken a chance like that on a friend's diamond unless the friend was like, yeah, go for it, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gathering from the tone of your story that was not the case.
It was, but I would have still been like, I wouldn't have done it. So, I mean, there's certain things that for me are a line that I won't cross. It's like, if I'm not sure about it, if I have any doubts about what it is. And like I said, with my friend that brought in some stuff, and she was like, it's gold and diamonds and sapphires. And I'm like, is it though? No.
It's just checked. Just be sure.
Yeah, let's just be sure. And it was a gift for her husband, and her husband was like, yay, here, and gave her these, over the top sparkly things that she was like, it's not me, so she was like, just, yeah, whatever. But I'm like, yeah, there's a sterling stamp on the back, and that's, so anyway, but
that's the main one to pay attention to.
Yeah, by testing and doing a little research that was real quick and painless, for me, I could find out, for sure.
Right.
And it's just worth it to do a little bit of testing to find out. But yeah, if you are doing more of that and you're working with a lot of gemstones, definitely invest in a better grade of gemstone tester. And there are electronic testers for metal as well. And those are very expensive, but you can tell like what carat it is, what metal it is, and some of them will give you a lot of information, but they can be like $1,000. So the more expensive they are, the more information you're usually going to get.
Yeah.
even with, like I said, some of the lab grown stones, it's hard to tell unless you have, like training and a GIA certification, to be able to really
Right.
these things specifically. But at least it'll get you in the ballpark. You'll know yes or no.
Hey, a ballpark is a great place to start, right?
Yeah.
Like it narrows it down.
Yeah. This ballpark is Little League because these are CZs.
Right.
And or glass. So yeah. Anyway.
Flag football. Yeah.
It's flag football, powder puff.
Or tag football or whatever they call it.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, get yourself a little tester for $14 on Amazon and have a little peace of mind. And if you're uncertain about some of the stones that are in your drawer, or somebody gave you, it's like, oh, here, have these. They're diamonds, and you're like, are they? That's
awfully big.
Quite a lot of diamonds, and you're like, oh,
I'm
they're
thinking not.
Yeah. Or they're white topaz, or they're something else that may be real but not necessarily a diamond. There we go.
Look, it's a noodle.
It's a noodle nose. There he is. So anyway, yeah, so test it out. If you have a tester that you like, or you're curious about some of the testers, or you've got a horror story, put it in the comments below. We'd love to hear. Yeah, and make sure you hit that like button. Bing, and
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, and ring that bell, and you'll know when we go live. And feel free to join us and ask your questions. All right. So have a great week, and we will talk to you next week on Tooltip Tuesday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.